They did not like Obamacare in a box with a fox, in a house, or with a mouse.
Pokemon go to the polls.
Have decided in 2020 to run for president.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
To get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Hello and welcome to Nude News. My name is Andrew Furman.
And I'm Marc Ramson.
Tonight's first story, us. You might be wondering, why is this show called Nude News?
Why do these two men appear shirtless?
Or even, why am I watching this?
Chances are that you have a ton of questions, and that's good. That's the very reason why this show was created.
Currently, our country has seen an influx of fake news in the past few years. News has become too dressed up, as talking heads and dog and pony shows fight for ratings instead of educating the general public.
That's where we come in. We are the Nude News, a show dedicated to giving you the bare facts.
As a show, we will give well-supported analysis on political issues, as well as talk to experts in the field that we are covering. So welcome to the first ever episode of what we hope to be the start of a media movement.
Tonight's topic of discussion has set the political world on fire. Democrats in the House are launching an impeachment inquiry dealing with the President Donald Trump.
Yes, the whole nation is now on impeachment watch. The funny thing is, we really don't know what we're watching. The story is changing and developing at such a fast rate, by the time you finish watching this episode, chances are there will be new developments.
So tonight, we are going to unpack what we know so you have a basic understanding into what is going on regarding this impeachment inquiry.
First, it's important to know what really goes on during an impeachment inquiry. When hearing the word impeachment, the first thing that comes to mind is usually when a president is expelled from office.
In reality, impeachment is a process in which Congress can investigate a sitting president. The Constitution states that a president can be impeached for treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
The exact verbiage in the Constitution leaves a large amount of wiggle room for congressmen and women on what is an impeachable offense. For example, around 5 years ago, President Barack Obama shocked the world when he wore a tan suit. If enough members of Congress felt that the fashion choice was inappropriate, they could have attempted to impeach the president.
People nowadays know nothing about style.
Right you are, my friend.
The tan suit example is clearly a hyperbole, but it stands to show that the Constitution does not give clear indicators as to what an impeachable offense is. For the president to be impeached, a majority of the House of Representatives must vote in favor of it.
Even if the president is impeached, that does not mean they are immediately removed. The proceedings then turn to the Senate, which requires a 2/3 majority for the president to be fully removed from office. Their job would be passed on to the current sitting vice president.
The events that sparked up this whole impeachment controversy was a report filed by a whistleblower, a CIA operative whose identity remains anonymous. After listening to a conversation between President Trump and the Ukrainian president, the whistleblower claims that President Trump asked for information regarding Joe Biden's son and his relationships with the Ukrainian oil company. Trump is now facing criticism that he was attempting to use foreign aid money as a way to put a chokehold on information to be used against political opponents.
Throughout his presidency, Trump's had his fair share of scandals, and Democrats are now arguing to decide whether or not to file impeachment on just this issue or to try to corner him on many issues.
Some Democrats want the process as clean as possible, and they believe that focusing on one issue is the best way to get that done. Others believe that opening the investigation to as many issues as possible is the best political move at this time.
This week, the Washington Post released a poll saying that 58% of Americans support impeachment inquiry. 58% of all Americans support continued efforts to bring along impeachment charges. Possibly more concerning for the Trump administration is that 43.5% of registered independent voters now believe that Trump should be impeached.
The impeachment inquiry has not been all bad news for President Trump, however. In the 2 days following Nancy Pelosi's announcement of an impeachment investigation, Trump received campaign contributions from 50,000 new donors. This number ballooned his third quarter fundraising numbers, as his fundraising is unmatched compared to his Democratic candidate counterparts. And that, Andrew, is the Nude News.
Thank you, Mark. Join us next week for continued impeachment coverage, as well as a look into the fourth Democratic debate. In the meantime, I'm Andrew Furman.
And I'm Marc Ramson.
And remember, size only matters when it comes to poll numbers.
And maybe crowd sizes.
See you next time. Okay.